Hello, welcome back to the channel. So today I have been asked to give my thoughts on the All-Star North v South match that Todd Boehly has put forward, and mentioned in a couple of weeks ago now, I think it was. So for me, there's some pros and cons to this, and we are quite traditional with our sport over here in England, and we've had a few rules that have come in over the couple of years that have split the fan base, VAR for one, and that new offside rule, perhaps where I don't think people are more split. From what I've seen, people are more in agreement with me in regards to we should just scrap it, where, we let play continue and then we put the flag up. So, players at risk of injury with that rule coming in, and we should just go back to how it was, where if someone's offside, flag goes up, if needs be, VAR check, and just continue playing. And none of this letting play continue, and it's rubbish. Back to what it should have been and what it should never have changed. But however, sometimes I do think we do need to move forward with the times and catch up with things that are going on. For instance, I believe and I think that what Simon Jordan has been saying for a long time now in regards to the Premier League having their own Netflix type streaming service, where we all pay, say, £10 a month and we get every game, including 3 PMs. I think the Premier League would make a lot more money than what they're making now. It'd be a lot cheaper for us, the fans, to pay for it instead of having subscriptions to Sky, BT and Amazon, so on and so forth. And if as well they made it worldwide, the Premier League would make so much more money than what they're making now. Like, it just makes sense for me. But that's that anyway. So we'll get back to this North v South All-Star match. So for me, the main con is it's just another money-making scheme for the greedy owners, isn't it, really? There's going to be so many sponsors that will get brought into this. It might not even be played in this country. You've seen boxing matches lately that take place in, like, Saudi Arabia. Like, is that where this is going to go? I just find it very interesting that the American owner, Todd Boehly, who's just bought Chelsea for $2 billion, is trying to come up with new ways where he can make more money to get his money back, maybe entice new investment into Chelsea to help him run Chelsea, So it's just money making, it always is the same. But the pros for it is that some of this money could go to the the lower leagues, grassroots, get more people playing football, get kids off the street, and into playing sports and stuff like that. So that's another debate, but I see that as a pro. And I also think as well it'd be a nice end to the season, a season-ending game. We have like the Champions League now mainly as the season closer, innit? But I think for the Premier League to have its own All-Star match, I think it'd just be really good to have. And you never know, like, maybe once we've seen how it goes and if it works really well, we might have a Premier League 11 against the Europe 11 or the World 11 or, something like that. Like, I just think you can do different things with it over the years so it doesn't become repetitive. And I think the fans would get behind it as well, especially if it is held in England, in Wembley or Millennium or Stadium or something like that. If it's shipped around the country to stadiums that are big enough, it definitely has to stay in England. There's none of this making it go worldwide or anything like that. It definitely has to stay in England. But I think fans would get behind it, because I know for me, for instance, I'd find it quite exciting. But I think there should be some type of rules in place, though, in regards to how you pick your teams. So for me, for instance, I think unless you have to have a limit of, say, 2 players per team, otherwise it's just going to be like Liverpool, Man City, Man United against Chelsea, Arsenal, Spurs, which is not really good, and it doesn't make it fair on the rest of the league for me. So for me, I would go with 2 players per team, like fantasy football, when you're picking them teams at the beginning of the season. And the managers as well, for me, would have to be someone who's not currently managing in the Premier League, so there's no bias there. Like perhaps a legend, for instance. If we had like the first match and you had, say, Fergie managing the North and Wenger managing the South, and then the next time you did it, you'd have perhaps Benitez and Harry Redknapp, so on and so forth, just stuff like that. Make it a bit more interesting. And with all them rules put in place now, I'm going to show you the 2 teams that I would pick if I had to do this. So bearing in mind I've had to split the two Midland sides up as well, and I'm only allowed 2 players per team. I'll start with the South. So my South team is Jose Sarr from Wolves, if that's how you pronounce it. And then I've gone for a back 4 of James, Saliba, Dyer and Digne, whichever one it is. Saliba's had a cracking start to the season this year. I think Eric Dyer's really come on as a centre-back under Conte. And the 2 wing-backs or full-backs, whichever way they be played, are solid defending-wise, really. Maybe Digne is the weakest point of that defence, but, you know. And then in my midfield 3, I've gone with Kante, Ruben Neves and James Ward-Prowse. I didn't know who else to pick in midfield for where Ward-Prowse is. Like, I realised I didn't have a player from Southampton, so I kind of just picked him. But, you know, it's one of them. And then a front 3 of Saka, Kane and Trossard. Again, I picked Trossard because I needed somebody from Brighton, I think, in the team, and I could have picked somebody else, like, is it Gross or something like that? I could have picked him and put him in there, but Saka and Kane are no-brainers for me. And I think that's a pretty strong team, to be fair. So, I can't, you know, probably if I had to pick a weak point, it would be that left-hand side of the team. But you've got Kante in there that could help shore it up, so, you know, I think that's a pretty strong team, to be fair. Here's my North team then. So, as you can see, I've got Nick Pope in net, Ricardo Pereira at right back, Virgil van Dijk, Martinez and Lodi from Nottingham Forest as my left back, and then my midfield 3 of Ndidi, Kevin De Bruyne, and I'm probably going to butcher this name, but Guimaraes, if that's how you say it, from Newcastle. I'm sorry, you know, Newcastle fans, if that's wrong. Like, how I see it, it's how I pronounce it. And then a front 3 of Salah, Haaland and Ronaldo. Now, I think them 2 teams are quite evenly matched because, you know, on the South team, they've got a pretty overall strong side apart from perhaps that left-hand side. Whereas the North, I'd say the both full-backs are not the strongest, but they do have probably the best front 3 and they've got probably the best centre-backs as well. So, anyway, guys, that's my teams there. What do you think about that? Would you be interested in this All-Star game? Do you think there should be some type of rule put in place, like I've mentioned, 2 players per team, or perhaps we have a draft where us as fans have to pick our captains for the North and the South, and then we let our captains like just pick the teams that they want? Do you think we should have legend managers instead of people that are in the Premier League right now? Yeah, guys, pick your teams as well. Put them down below in the comments. See what you can come up with the rule I've put in place of 2 players per team. Give this video a like and share it with your friends, and we can grow this community a little bit more. And I'll catch you in the next one.